Okay, everyone. We're actually going to start lying down. So please come onto your mats and just lie down on your backs. I'd like you probably to have your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, because it's a really grounding position and it's really nice for the low back. But if you are really comfortable having legs extended, you can do that as well. Please choose what feels really good for you at the beginning of class. One thing I would like you to do though is take your hands and very gently place them on your side ribs. Then close your eyes and start to make a full connection with your breath. I would like you to become fascinated by the side movement of your ribs. And also start to really pay attention to the quality of your inhale and exhale as replicated in a way in the sort of movement of your body. What we're always practicing in our yoga is getting the breath deeper, but also getting the breath into the areas which it's a little reluctant to press into. And this sort of barrel-like expansion through, it's really this full circumference of the ribs. What you're feeling is the side ribs, but it's actually front and back ribs as well. It's a really good sort of training ground for getting more connected to your breath. So just take a few breaths on your own and just notice what they feel like. I want you to think about this as your intent as you lie here with your hands on your ribs. What do you need from your practice this morning? It's quite an open-ended question, but actually sometimes, in fact, every time you come to your mat, what you should really be doing is honestly, truthfully checking in with yourself and working out what you feel like and what you would like to feel like at the end of your class. So here's a few suggestions. Maybe you need to feel more grounded. Maybe you feel slightly out of body. It's a general malaise at the moment. I feel like this most of the time. Maybe you need some more energy. Maybe the flatness of everything is really getting you down. You need to kind of boost yourself up, shift. Maybe you need to lighten the load. You need to unburden, get rid of all that crap that swells around your head and gets in the way of everything. How do you get out of your own way? Maybe you want to start your day off and feel a little more open and receptive to new things. Maybe you want to be open and receptive to people around you rather than be reactive to them. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I want you to think about what you feel. Maybe in that list that I just said, maybe something resonated. Maybe it's something completely different. Maybe you just want to breathe fully, properly, with curiosity for 90 minutes. That's an excellent intent. As a spot today, we're going to be looking and feeling and working into these side ribs. We're going to be thinking about continually getting space into this area of the body where your hands are touching. So take a final big breath in here. Feel length, expansion, width. When you exhale, I'd like you to open your mouth and sigh it out and really feel how good that is. You're going to do 3 more breaths like that, where you take a wide inhale and then you just let it go. Completely at your own time, at your own speed, feeling stuff that comes up for you. How deeply you connect with your own physical body enhances your class. Last breath, sigh it out. Very slowly open your eyes and roll onto one side. Press yourself up. Try not to rush it because it's pretty kind of nice lying down there. And come up to seated. Let's start in Badakanasana. So sit up, and I really suggest if you have a blanket or something that you put it under your bottom, because it lifts up your pelvis a little bit so that when you're in Badakan, it feels a little more accessible. Let's do a couple of rounds of Kapalabhati. Bring your fingertips behind you, press them into the mat, and push into them so you lift your chest. Guess what? As you lift length through your chest, you extend length into the sides of the body. So here we are, we're back in these ribs again. Feel for extending into your torso. Elbows pressed towards each other. Take a big breath in through the nose and blow everything out of the mouth. Take an inhale halfway through the nose and then pump out of the nostrils. And as you do this, flick your belly back in towards the diaphragm. Looks like this. The speed at which you do this is completely personal, right? And in fact, play around with the speeds. You can vary them. Maybe you start quite rhythmic. Maybe see what it feels like to speed it up. What happens if you slow it down? That's quite hard, actually. Choose one that you like to work with and do another 20 pumps wherever you are. Keep lifting the chest, opening out through the shoulders. And then take a long, slow inhale through the nose. And a full exhale out. Move your hands forward. Either hold onto your ankles, your feet are still very active, or place your fingertips in front of the shins. Take a long breath in and feel side ribs lift into length. Exhale everything out through the mouth. Hinge forward from the hips, forward fold. Hold the breath out, don't breathe. Scoop up and under into belly. Uddiyana, vacuum out. Release the belly, take an inhale. Lengthen through side body. As you exhale, blow everything out of the mouth. Let's do another one. Hold the breath, don't breathe. Tip your chest forward, suck up under into belly area. Release the belly, come all the way up. Come to straight, stay in Badakanasana. Take your left hand to the side of your body and slightly behind the line of your hip. Take your right hand and grab a handful of your middle right thigh. At this point, I'd like you to push the thigh away from you and at the same time lock out your right arm. Start to bend the left supporting elbow and slightly lean towards the left. Take a long breath in. Try to get some length into side ribs. And as you exhale, traction your right thigh away from you, pushing heel of hand into it and sliding the inner flesh away from your groin. Let your head soften to the side. Feel for opening the right hip socket. Notice how grippy your left hip flexors have got. Let them go. Every inhale, I want you to visualize length into side ribs, both sides. And as you exhale, press the heel of your hand a little deeper into that right thigh. Slowly inhale, come up out of this. Let's swap sides. Bring your right hand to side of body, slightly behind the line of hip. Left hand grabs a handful of the thigh, push it down, lock out the arm, lean towards the right. Look at your feet just a little bit momentarily. Press the soles of the feet together. Retract toes. Keep feeling like you've almost got a sort of handful of this thigh, left thigh, and you're pulling it out of the hip. Big breaths in and out. Let the head soften. And then slowly release and come back to center. Take your hands to outside edge of hips, draw them together. Legs come straight out in front of you, give them a shake. And then I'd like you to take your legs a little wider into a straddle. Have your feet flexed, have the tops of the shins pointing directly up to ceiling. And it's interesting because if you look at your feet, they tend to roll outwards, right? And your legs get a little kind of flaccid. They're not really connected to the mat. Press down through them and feel like you've got a ton of energy through the underside of legs. Right hand to inner right leg. Inhale, side bend. Reach the left arm up. Here's your opportunity for length. Lift into side ribs. Extend upwards, wrap top arm, side bend. Let the head go. As you soften your breath into this side bend, come back to your intent, the thing that drew you. I want to feel more grounded. I want to feel more energized. I want to breathe with attention to detail. Whatever it might have been, come back to it. Pay it some attention. And if your intent wavers, think about this as your intent. I want to create space in the side body. Float your left hand over to the side. Keep your torso where it is, neck release. Inhale, roll the head of the shoulder up. Press it away. Feel for reaching through the fingertips as you let the side of your head soften towards right shoulder. I want you to really consciously slide your left shoulder head away from your ear. And there it is, more space for your neck. How active are the backs of your legs pressing into the mat? Are your toes pointing directly up to ceiling? On your next inhale, draw yourself up. Do it really slowly. Cup side of head with right hand. Lift your own head up. Take your left hand to inner edge of left leg. Inhale, side bend. Lift up some additional space into left side ribs. Right side ribs even. There it is. And come across. Lasso this top arm, get some softness into it, let the head go. Notice the slight tendency to tip forwards. It makes everything feel a little more easy. But if you want to work into the real stretch, lift up through the front belly and soften away. Separate your teeth apart from each other, press through active legs. Inhale, float the right hand to hover just above the floor on the right side of room. Take an inhale, roll the shoulder. Press it down and away. Feel for a lot of space being created as the head of the shoulder lowers down. Neck, release. Slowly inhaling, draw yourself up, cup side of head, lift it up. Take your hands to outside edge of thighs, maybe bend the knees and move your legs together. We'll lie down for abdominals. Elbow to knee, moving into sit bone grab. I demoed this yesterday. I just want you to realize where your sit bones are. So and I've done this for a long time, I've pushed my fingers sort of into this outside edge of buttock. Your sit bones are really close in. They're pretty much tucked up to the inner edge of the thigh. So I'd like you to put your own fingers, not mine, obviously, your own fingers right there as you do your turn on your butt muscle action. Elbow to knee, lie down on your backs. Place your hands interlaced behind the base of the skull. Wrap your elbows up to ceiling. Pick your feet up off the floor. Have your knees stacked directly over hips, and they're going to stay there. And your feet are very active, maybe slightly below the knee line. Take a full breath in. I want you to notice your side ribs expanding and lengthening. Lift the head and shoulders. Hold the breath. Flatten sacrum to mat. As you exhale, reach elbows to left thigh. Reach the right foot out 45 degrees. Spread the toes. Lift your left shoulder blade off the mat. Pull belly down. Inhale back to center. Full breath. Feel it in your side ribs. Hold the breath. Curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows to right thigh. Left foot extends. Spread the toes apart. Feel for lifting right shoulder blade. Look up at the ceiling. Pull belly down. Inhale back to center. Full breath. Hold the breath. Curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows to left thigh. Reach the right foot away. Feel for reaching the right thigh bone out of the hip. Make sure that your neck is relaxed. Pull belly down. Inhale back to center. Full breath. Hold breath, curl tailbone, flattening the low back. Exhale, elbows to right thigh, left foot extends. Lengthen it, feel for reaching away through the big toe. Pull belly downwards. Inhale back to center, moving into sit bone grab. Take a breath. Hold breath, curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows to left thigh, right foot extends. Feel for reaching it away. Lift both shoulder blades off the mat, pull belly down. Take an additional inhale. Right hand releases, fingertips to inner underside of butt crease. As you exhale, squeeze the attachment on there. Lift up through the left elbow, pull belly down. Inhale back to center, full breath. Hold breath, curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows to right thigh, left leg extends. Lengthen the left thigh bone away from you. Reach right elbow upwards. Inhale again, left hand releases, fingertips to inner edge of butt crease. As you exhale, squeeze this firmly on, pull belly down, wrap the right shoulder blade. Inhale back to center, knees bent, full breath. Side ribs, where are they? Hold breath, curl tailbone, exhale, elbows to left thigh, right foot extends. Reach through, we're getting tired now. Feel for attention to detail in the low belly. Inhale, right hand releases to inner edge of buttocks. Squeeze it on. Lift up again as you exhale, belly down. Inhale back to center, hands behind the head, full breath. Hold breath, curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows to right thigh, left leg extends. Lengthen it, let the left hip flexors go. Take an additional inhale, left hand to inner edge of butt crease. Squeeze it on, feel the connection. Lift up. Belly down. Inhale, knees back, feet down, head and shoulders down. Take your hands onto your side ribs. Very gently, like it's a really soft touch. Spaciously breathe into your diaphragm. The reason we do a lot of work with Uddiyana and abs and Agony and all this stuff we do, it helps to loosen up the diaphragm, as well as lots of other things. And the looser your diaphragm is, the more open it is, the bigger your breaths, right? Because the diaphragm's a muscle, it's got muscular elements, so it needs to be able to draw down to create the vacuum. A lot of us have very tight diaphragms. Let's do bridge pose. Tuck your feet up to your butt, stroke the backs of the heels. Arms reset to side of body, very casual, shoulders relaxed. Press through active feet, curl the toes slightly up off the mat. Inhale, tuck your pubic bone towards your belly button. As you exhale, push through your feet, lift your hips up. Feel your feet, they should be directly underneath your knees, and your inner thigh muscles are drawing towards each other. So your knees aren't splaying outwards, they're pulling towards the midline. Focus your full attention on the length of your breath and the length it creates in the side body. What you find is that on this inhale, it's like a long front body extension, and it feels really good if you just take a moment to enjoy it. Part of the problem with some poses is that we rush through them, we can't wait for them to be over, we're never really in them. Sit with the breath in bridge pose and really feel it. To allow yourself to be present with this, you need to turn your legs on more. Underside of buttocks, remember those glute muscles? Squeeze those on. All four corners of the feet, but particularly the big toe pad pressing downwards. Take your hands and gently rest them on your side ribs, back there. Can you feel how much space you can create? Notice it. Challenge yourself to find more space. Feel the swell of the ribs and then the lowering back in of the ribs as you exhale out. Drive the front of your thighs forwards. Feel for pressing more energy through the mat. I want to take 3 more breaths without getting flustered. Slow and steady, longer than you thought possible. Maybe a soft lion's breath out. Make those butt cheeks do a little more work. They've got more capacity, I promise. You're on your last breath. Gently move your hands away from your side ribs. Take a last inhale, tuck tailbone firmly underneath you. As you exhale, lower top back, mid back, low back, all the way to the mat. When you get there, shift your hips very gently, slightly to the left. Lower both knees to the right for a twist. Take your right hand across the body like you're hugging yourself and place it on the left side mid-ribs. Breathe into this space. Allow the twist to lengthen the lumbar spine. So especially as you exhale, just tuck your tailbone underneath you. Feel pressing the outside edge of left thigh away from you. Right down the IT band. Release the right hand, bring knees back to center on an inhale. Move your hips slightly to right, lower both knees to left. Keep breathing all the time you're doing these transitions. Pick up your left hand, hug yourself. It rests gently on the mid-right ribs. Feel your breath. Where's the space? How much space can you move between the ribs? The individual ribs moving apart. And then very gently draw knees back to center. Second set of abs, couldn't be avoided today. Gate opener, you have options. You can either use a cork block or a proper yoga roll stuck between your inner thighs. It's going to rest down on the pubic bone and you're going to grab it with the inner thigh muscles. Take your legs up to ceiling and flaunt your feet. If your hamstrings are tight, please have a micro bend in your knees, completely fine. Interlace of hands, do the opposite interlace. By the way, though, we're mixing our hands up, so you'll lose this, but start with that. Wrap elbows up to ceiling. Take a really big breath into those magnificent side ribs. Hold the breath. Squeeze the prop between your inner thighs. Curl your tailbone straight up to ceiling. Exhale, reach both elbows up the center line. Pull belly down. Take an inhale, release your left hand from behind your head. Press it down onto your prop. Straddle your legs wide. Spread the toes. Take an exhale, curl pubic bone to belly button, whilst lengthening the thigh bones to side of room. Pull belly down. Inhale, legs come back to center, squeeze the prop, hand behind the head. Hold your breath. Squeeze prop again, curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows lift up center line, pull belly down. Inhale, right hand to prop, press down on it, straddle legs wide. Reach the thigh bones away. Exhale, curl pubic bone to belly button. Lift shoulder blades off the mat, pull belly down. Inhale, legs come back, squeeze the prop, hand behind the head, hold your breath. Squeeze prop again, curl tailbone. Exhale, lift up the center line, both elbows reach. Inhale, left hand onto prop, straddle wide. Reach the inner thigh muscles wider. Exhale, curl pubic bone to belly button. Pull down through the low belly as you reach up through right tip of elbow. Inhale, legs come back, squeeze the prop. Hold the breath, curl tailbone. Lift up as you exhale, straight up the center line, belly down. Inhale, right hand to the prop, push down onto pubic bones, straddle legs wide. Keep pressing hand into prop, prop into hand as you curl, pubic bone to belly button, exhale out. Inhale, legs come back to center, squeeze the roll, hand behind the head. Hold breath, squeeze it again, last time, curl tailbone. Exhale, both elbows reach up the center line, pull belly down. Inhale, release, head and shoulders. Feet come down, prop moves from between inner thighs. Put your hands on your low belly, take a big breath in. Ooh, it got hot and kind of a little bit kind of edgy. There's an energy now that's circulating around the pelvic bowl. Just let it emanate around the whole body. Share it out. Slowly roll onto one side, doesn't matter which, and gently press yourself up to seated. Cup the underside of your head, lift your own head up. Let's do turbo puppy, moving into turbo dog. Come into all fours. Have your knees stacked under hips. Hands, take them slightly forwards of the shoulders. And then I'd like you to bend your elbows so they just hover above the floor. But most importantly, if you could see yourself from front on, your elbows don't do this. They pull in. It's like you scoop and wrap them around a firm object, like a big beach ball, and squeeze onto it. The neck is relaxed, the head is soft. You're already in turbo puppy, but I'm just tricking you to stay there a bit longer. Take an inhale now and feel for doming out the upper back, wrapping the shoulder blades around the sides of the ribs, which you're now very familiar with. Feel those side ribs expand as you inhale. Can you feel the serratus anterior, the muscle that feathers over your side ribs, kind of turn on here? Like you're being sort of held around the rib cage. Keep pressing the elbows together. Feel the front of the chest activate. Let's turn this into turbo dog. Curl the toes underneath you. Engage your core. On your next exhale, straighten your legs. Elbows stay bent. They also stay very much pulling towards each other, like they can't resist. Shake out the head, yes, no. Got to use your legs more in turbo dog. I've worked this out a while ago now, but feel for pressing through the feet. Scoop your belly up and squeeze the inner thighs together. Visualize wrapping your shoulders around the sides of the belly, of the rib cage. Shake out again, one more breath. Release, come down. Dolphin prelude, walk the hands slightly forwards of shoulders, bring the forearms down onto the mat so that they are also forwards of the shoulders. Have your hands in prayer. Walk your knees back and have them as wide as the mat, but just beyond the line of hip. Start to hinge your butt back so it's like you want to get it to your heels for child's pose, but it doesn't quite reach. It hangs mid-air. Place your forehead on the mat. I want you to take a few breaths here and feel the pull, the stretch through the underside of armpits, but also the side ribs. If you can't feel it, walk your elbows slightly further forwards. Bend your arms now at elbow and place your prayer hands on the base of your head. Breathe length into side ribs. Keep pulling the butt back as you drag the skin over the top of your elbows. And extend your breath into the ribs, underside of armpit. Really notice that opening. As you exhale, let your sternum soften to the mat. Mid, upper back, let's go. Open your mouth side out. Float the forearms back to mat. Come back up. Let's put this all together. We're going to do flash prep. Okay. So one arm dolphin, one arm chaturanga. Option to lift the leg if you want to. I'll talk you through it. You can watch first or you can come with me immediately. Left forearm down on the mat. Left elbow directly stacked under left shoulder. Bring your right hand back. It's probably placed your right hand pretty close to your right knee. When you lift your elbow up, you'll hit your hip bone. Take an inhale, dome into upper back. It feels very turbo dog-like with the right arm. Curl toes, straighten the legs. Walk your feet in a little tighter. Check on the angle of your right arm. It needs to be at a right angle. It probably means you need to walk the right hand a little further back. Push weight through the left forearm, but don't ignore your right hand. Put weight into that as well. Shake out the head, yes, no. Become aware of your side ribs. Take a breath and lengthen the side ribs up towards your butt. That's the direction they're going in. Put weight possibly into right foot. Inhale, left leg can raise up. This is totally optional. Feel the big toe if you've got the left leg raised, way up there, and press actively through the right foot. Right elbow draws in. Release left leg. Release your knees, come up to kneeling. Birdwing. Super glue triceps to ribs, palms up. Take a big breath in. When you take this breath, feel that space, right? That telescoping ribs, but also feel squeeze of bicep onto ribs. So let's do that. Take an inhale, lift your chest, lengthen the side ribs. No shrug of shoulders. As you exhale, roll your thumbs outwards, squeeze biceps onto ribs like you're crushing something. Don't use the neck. Inhale, come back. Just slow this down. It works better if you do it really slowly. Exhale, roll the thumbs out. Don't rush it. It's a long exhale. Draw shoulder blades down the back body. Inhale, slowly come back to center. Last one. Feel the ribs expand. Exhale, roll it out. Release, come back. Shoulders. Give them a little roll out. Let's do flash prep on the other side. Right forearm down. Right elbow stacked under shoulder. Palm active. Take your left hand way back behind the right knee, left knee, in front of the left knee. Curl toes. Inhale. Here's your turbo dog wrapping round shoulder blades. Exhale, straighten legs. Push firmly through the right forearm, but keep connected to the left hand, fingertips, grabby on the mat. Pull the left elbow in. Take an inhale. Feel like someone's yanked your wet legging straight up to ceiling, pulling the butt. Squeeze inner thighs together. As you maybe take your next inhale, raise up the right foot slowly with active feet. Inner thigh muscles still active, even though the legs extended way away. In fact, you should feel a connection between your right big toe and your left big toe, all the way through the inner line of leg and groin. Visualize the connection between the two legs. Pull the left elbow inwards, wrap and turn on the front of the pec. Exhale, slowly lower right leg with control, don't rush it. Tempting to let it flop to earth. Come back down. Hands go forward, down dog. Take a breath in, down dog. Feel for just coming onto tippy toes. It's quite a nice thing to do. Come up onto your tippy toes in down dog, and then particularly feel like your bottom reaches as you lengthen your back body. Then as you exhale, just lower the heels down. So both at the same time. Let's do it again. Come onto tippy toes, inhale. As you inhale, can you visualize lifting your low ribs up towards the butt? And then as you exhale, lower the heels down, stretching the back of the calves. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, come onto tippy toes. Feel like the bottom goes straight up, lengthening the back of the body. Exhale, lower down. Walk your feet to join your hands and come up to standing slowly with a relaxed neck. Amazing. Okay, horse stance with back traction and Agnisara. Come with your legs wide on the mat, feet turned out. So feet are active. Note, just check for, especially if you've got slightly flat feet, it's really easy to collapse into the midline. Your knees rock in and you feel like you're sort of leaning on the inner edge of your feet. I need you to press. I mean, I'm exaggerating. You don't have to do the toes curled up so much, but feel like you push to the outside edge of your feet a little bit. If you've got tight leggings on, roll them down. You don't have to show your tummy, but just get some waistband space away from here, right? You need it to be free. Put your hands on your top of thighs, mid thighs, lock out the arms and push your thighs downwards, lengthening the tailbone. Take a big breath in. Blow everything out of the mouth. Hold breath, don't breathe, scoop belly up and under. Feels like Uddiyana. Now flap the belly in and out, still not breathing. Release belly, inhale. Blow everything out of the mouth, full exhale, empty. Hold the breath, don't breathe, suck up and then flap in and out, tucking chin to chest. Release belly, inhale. Blow everything out, exhale fully. Hold breath, don't breathe, vacuum up and under into ribs, then let the belly go. Release. Take a long breath in. Inhale, lift the chest. As you exhale, twist your whole torso towards the left, straighten your right arm. Inhale, come back to center, lengthen the side ribs. As you exhale, twist to the right, lengthen and traction your left arm away. Pushing the thigh bone out of the hip. Inhale, back to center. Twist, dip, straighten the right arm. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, twist, but press the heel of that left hand into thigh, push it away. Come all the way back up to center. Inhale, straighten the legs. Heel toe your feet back together. Sun salutations. Come and stand up front of mat. Turn your music on if you would like to have some music. Additional padding for knees optional. So I want you to think about, I'm just going to show you, when you stand in Tadasana, but we're going to have, as we do sunset, we're going to think about these side ribs. I did telescoping yesterday, but this is more. This is like a connection to the muscles that also wrap around, the serratus that wrap around the side ribs. And this is what they were made for initially. When you're a little baby and you learn how to lift your arms up and reach for things, this is what works, right? That's where it comes from. This kind of, it helps you to raise your arms up forwardly. So I want you to think every time you do an inhale and you reach your arms up, slow it down just a little bit. So, I mean, I don't know how you normally do it. I sometimes bend the elbows and do that. What's really nice today, I want you to really think about this. Every time I say inhale, reach the arms, I want you to bring the arms straight up in front of you and feel length, but also connection to the armpit area. And that happens in all the lunges as well. So think about that. Okay, Tadasana, mountain pose, press through active feet. Here we go. Inhale, reach the arms up, forwards facing up to ceiling. Telescope ribs. Exhale, forward fold, let the head hang. Lunge, step left leg back, knee to mat. Inhale, reach the arms forwards and up. Exhale, hands float to mat, step back into plank. Take a breath, scoop the belly, tuck tailbone as you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers. Do it slowly. Graze biceps to ribs. Hands forward of shoulders, inhale, telescope the front ribs through the arms. Exhale, drag yourself lengthways, reset, down dog. Lunge, left leg to front of mat, right knee down. Take a slow, steady inhale, reaching the arms forward and then up. Feel the side ribs lift. Exhale, float to forward fold. Inhale, rise up to center. Bring the arms forward as you do this, reaching out and then up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go again. Inhale, arms come forward and up. Open the side ribs, exhale, forward fold. Right leg lunges back, knee down. Breathe in, sweep the arms up. Feel the underside of your ribs turn on. Exhale, float to plank, hands to mat. Look at your hands, push through them, lift the belly, tuck tailbone, knees lower as you exhale, chest lowers. Do it slowly. Inhale, low cobra. Squeeze inner thighs together, lift your chest. Exhale, drag a little length through the belly, reset, down dog. Right leg lunges forward, left knee down. Take a breath in. Feel for slowly lifting the arms and reaching space into side ribs. Exhale, float to forward fold. Arms come up, float them, feel for engaging core as you lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go again, left side. Inhale, arms reach up, forward facing. It's really hard to change the habit. It's just for fun today. Exhale, forward fold. Lunge, left leg back, knee to mat. Take a breath in, rise up with these arms. Feel for spreading the fingers and pushing through the left back foot. Exhale, plank, hands to mat, step back. Take a breath here, scoop belly, tuck tailbone. Exhale, knees lower, chest lowers, slow and steady. Inhale, low cobra, feel for lifting and lengthening. Exhale, down dog. Left leg lunges forward, right knee to mat. Consciously press through the right foot, squeezing the right butt cheek on, lift the arms slowly. Exhale, float to forward fold. Inhale, rise up to standing, pressing through active feet, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, hands to heart center, soften the shoulders. Let's go again, right side. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold, softness in the back of the head. Right leg lunges back, knee to mat. Take a long, extensive inhale. Feel it reach space through the side body. Exhale, float to forward fold. Sorry, float back to plank. Gosh, no, not that. Plank. Inhale, scoop it up as you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers. Low cobra, inhale, lengthen upwards. Exhale, down dog. Right leg lunges to front of mat, left knee down. Take a long inhale, widen your rib cage as you do this. Exhale, float to forward fold. Come up to standing, root to rise all the way. Exhale, hands to heart center. You're going to do 2 more rounds on your own, working with what feels good for you today. So left, left, right, right. Freestyle, whatever you want, do it. Make sure you keep your breath with you and that every little nuance of the sun salutation is kind of something you're present with. Stay in your body. It's the only requirement. Notice placement of hands, the press through feet. How much core you're engaging. But generally just feel for how good it feels in your body to move in this kind of focused flow with the breath. Feel those side ribs, side body areas extending with every opportunity you give them. It's interesting, it's only when you do suns on your own that you notice more things. Like, oh, feels quite nice when I do that. You can make your own adjustments, you can get your own pace. You pay attention. At the end of the 2 rounds, and there's no rush whatsoever, stand at the front of your mat, hands to heart center, close your eyes and just breathe. Take it all in. How grounded you feel, how in body you feel. Let's do 3 pose vignettes. So just before we start, please make sure you have a block and a strap at the front of the mat so that you've got them handy where you might need them. Chair pose. Inhale, come down into it. As you exhale, deep forward fold all the way down, let the head hang. Halfway lift, inhale, hands on the shins or the floor. Step or hop into plank. Take a breath in plank, lift the belly. As you exhale, tuck tailbone, knees lower, chest lowers all the way down. Inhale, low cobra, lift and lengthen. Exhale, down dog. Left leg steps to front of mat, warrior 2. Back foot 90 degrees, come all the way up. Front foot straight, knee bent. Outside edge of right foot, very active. Let's do shoulder shrugs. Take a really big breath into side ribs, feel it. Hold the breath, now deliberately shrug your shoulders straight up to ears. As you exhale, squeeze the tops of your shoulder blades together and then keep squeezing as you dredge downwards, but your gaze is forward facing. Roll it out. Big breath in, side ribs expand, no shrug. Exhale, squeeze middle points of shoulders together really firmly. Keep pressing them, slide down. Don't use the neck. Palms up, elbows bent. Breathe, inhale. Exhale, low tips of shoulder blades. You've got to visualize them. Elbows squeeze back, draw down. Chin stays lifted. Roll it out. Let's do 1 more round. Take an inhale. Hold breath. Shrug shoulders straight up to ears. Squeeze tops of shoulder blades together. Keep your focus and concentration. I know it's hard. Roll it out. Take a big breath. Feel the side ribs lengthen. Middle points of shoulder blades squeeze together. Make your rhomboids, the muscles engage. Slide down. Palms up, elbows bent. Take a long breath. No rush. Exhale as low tips of shoulder blades squeeze. Actively press through your feet. Draw elbows down. And then roll it out. Extended warrior with a block. So I'd like you to take the block and place the block to inner edge of your left foot. Slide your left hand down and place it on the block. Brace your forearm onto inner edge of left shin. If you're more open, you can have the block on a lower level. But what tends to happen is we're so obsessed, about getting down that we lose this bit. And I really want the top body to be rolled open, okay? So it's really nice to be on a higher block. Why not use it? You can deepen the left knee bend. That'll get the hip working, so that's fine. Start with chest opener. Take an inhale. Take the right hand straight up to ceiling. So I want you to feel like between the left hand and the right hand, you're being pulled and opened, and your chest is expanding. Let the neck go. So there's a lot of lift in the left armpit, side ribs, and a reach through the right fingertips. Let the neck completely soften. Find your core, zip it up and tuck it into the midline. At the same time, your right glute, remember that, remember where your sit bone attachment is, squeeze that on. Inner edge of right butt crease. To move into a deeper variation, wrap the top arm. Feel for reaching the arm forwards, but not collapsing in the chest, rolling out even more. Reach, here it is, a full side body extension. It doesn't get more than this. From right fingertips to right outside edge of hip, you're being extended. Take a soft, long breath into right side ribs. Open them up. Feel a reach into armpit. One more breath. And then slowly float the right hand down. Move the block to one side. Let's come into pigeon twisting over thigh. So pick up your left foot and place it a little closer to the middle of the mat. Bring your left knee to edge of mat. Up on your hands, curl under the back right toe and walk your leg lengthways away. So now you're as low down in your pigeon as feels available. I want you to come onto fingertips and actually walk your hands to frame your left thigh. So you start to turn to the left. At this point, you'll take an inhale for additional length. Lift the chest. As you exhale, drape yourself lengthways across your left thigh. A couple of options here. Maybe you just walk the hands forwards. Maybe you're able to come towards your elbows. Pause. Pull. It seems a weird thing to say. Feel like you reach space into right side ribs as you possibly walk your right foot a little more to the left of the mat, like you're sickling it and creating a bow shape from right elbow to right foot. Let the head soften. If you're very open, you might walk your right hand forward, creep the fingers forward to the left side of the mat and reach away. More stretch into armpit. Completely optional. I haven't even mentioned the outer edge of left hip, but there it is, a nice piriformis stretch. Let the back of the head, the skull, soften. And feel for letting the hip flexors go, right and left side. Come out of this really slowly. Hands come back to the mat, under shoulders. Curl the back right foot, down dog. In down dog, be very nice to your left leg. Give it a pedal out. Step your right foot to front of mat. Warrior two, shoulder shrugs. Front foot is straight, back foot 90 degrees. Deepen your right knee bend. So the thing about warrior two is you should be feeling this tractioning almost of that right thigh forwards, and then a little bit of space as you lift length through the body upwards. Arms relaxed, shoulder shrugs. Take a breath. Hold the breath. Shrug shoulders straight up to ears. As you exhale, squeeze tops of shoulder blades together. Rinse out as you draw down. Keep your chin level with your front gaze. Roll it out. Inhale, big breath into side ribs. Notice them expanding as you exhale, middle points of shoulder blades squeeze. There's muscles that lie between shoulder blades and spine, the rhomboids. Pull those together, draw down, roll it out. Inhale, palms up, elbows slightly bent. Exhale, low tips of shoulder blades squeeze, low elbows draw together. Deepen your right knee bend. Full soften off. Second round, inhale, big breaths. Feel those ribs open up. Hold breath, shrug shoulders up to ears. As you exhale, squeeze tops of shoulder blades together, slide downwards. Neck stays. It's like it's not really involved. Take a breath. Middle tips squeeze together. Exhale, draw down and away. Chin lifted. Palms up, elbows bent. Press again through active feet, especially outside edge of left foot. Exhaling, squeeze low tips of shoulder blades together, draw down. Roll it out. Extended warrior with chest opener and reach forwards. Take the right hand onto the block to inner edge of right foot. By the way, it doesn't mean you can't be on the mid-level or even hand on the floor as long as you've got the chest open, right? But I do think that this high level gives you the space to feel into the underside rib cage. Chest opener, left arm reaches up. Rather than slumping and dumping onto right shoulder, you don't do that at all. You push into the right hand, you lift up. You don't really need the block. It's like you're spreading your wings. You could do it like that, right? But then the block allows you to brace on the right shin, and you can push is the right word, yes, push your chest a little more open. Let the head go. Turn on your left glute, feel it. Feel a press through the outside edge of left foot and the inner thighs kind of wake up. Wrapping the top arm, feel for an almost lubrication of the left shoulder as you reach it across you. This is the point at which coming forwards feels a little nicer. It's where you need to work harder to roll open. Feel as if the left fingertips are connected to the left outside edge of foot and being taken apart from each other. Stretched away. Let the neck go. Float the left hand down, move the block. Bring your left knee to mat. Tuck your right heel towards the groin, right knee to edge of mat. Walk some length down the left thigh. Top of foot flat. You're up on fingertips. Take a breath. Walk your hands to frame the right thigh, knee. And then with another lengthy inhale, exhale, drape yourself across the right thigh. Maybe you walk the hands forward, you come to elbows. Keep pressing breath into left side ribs. Maybe creep your left foot a little more to the right side of the mat, so you're bananaing your left side of body. Final thing you could do is reach the left hand forwards. Maybe you're up on fingertips, but it's not necessary. It's whether you feel it's open to you. Let the head soften, back of the neck is relaxed. And then release very slowly. Come out of this, hands under shoulders, step back into down dog. Take a breath. Start to walk your feet a little closer to your hands. We're going to come into Malasana, Yogi squat. So walk your feet to your hands and maybe turn to the long side of your mat. Bend your knees and have your bottom down. Lots of options, right? So your feet are slightly turned out and your heels can be off the floor, legs apart, right? Traditionally, you might put your elbows into the inner edge of knees and press them apart. Most importantly, you need to not be hanging forwards. You need to be thinking about lengthening the side ribs and the back body. You might be able to get your feet flat to the mat. That's not important. You might also have your heels on a couple of blocks. That's helpful. Another really nice thing to do, if you really struggle with this, is to take a block. This is a little bit painful because it's not a very comfy block, but you can have something that you sit on, right? A roll works quite well. If you've got a solid roll. There it is. Anyway, breathe. Feel for reaching space into side ribs as you open out the outside edge of hips. Open your elbows into inner edge of knees and let your bottom feel heavy. One more breath. Release, come out of this, hands to the mat. Slowly step back into down dog. Take a breath in down dog, lift your sit bones. Second vignette, step your left foot to front of mat for head to ankle prep. So left foot is forward, you're in warrior two. Let's all start upright. Deep left knee bend, knee not draping inwards. It's definitely pressing outwards. Hands on hips, inhale. As you exhale, forward fold, straight down the center line of your warrior two legs. Hang your hands. Pick up your left hand and grab a handful of your left inner thigh. Just like we did at the beginning of the class, lock out your left arm and traction the left thigh away from your left hip. This forces you to side bend to the right. So place your right hand on the mat in front of your right foot or on a block. There's no shame in using a block here if you can't quite reach. Feel for opening with your breath the left side ribs. Like you are arcing a big C shape through the left side of body. And then at the same time, push the heel of your left hand into your inner left thigh and press it away from the hip. If all you feel in this pose is your inner right thigh muscle, please put a micro bend in right knee. Let the head hang and breathe. Breathe into the opening of side body. Very slowly release. Come out of this. Foot reset for flank stretch. So pigeon your toes, but probably also walk them slightly closer. So you're in a straddle forward fold. Take your left hand across the underside of your body and grab your right ankle, calf, or maybe the thigh, but hopefully your legs are close enough together that you can reach the calf at least. Start to plug your left butt cheek to an imaginary flat surface behind you as you open up space into left side ribs. Right hand has options. It's either on top of left hand or again, pressing into floor in front of right foot. Let the head hang. Feel like this is a forward fold, not a twist. So let the torso fold forwards as you pull your left hand on your right ankle and point your left elbow to the floor. You feel a stretch in left side ribs. The trick is to keep drawing your left butt cheek back behind you. Take a wide, expansive breath into your left side ribs. What does that space feel like? Release, come out of this. Walk your hands to the front of the mat for pigeon, sternum to ankle. So bring the right knee down. You're going to move the left foot to the right side of the mat and then come to rest down on your left buttock. Pick up the left shin and completely place it parallel to the short top edge of mat. Back leg does what it likes. A bit further away, a bit closer in. You feel lopsided, it's okay. Both hands grab the left foot. When you've got hold of the left foot, rather than curling in on yourself, inhale, push your chest through your arms and feel like you lengthen out of the side ribs. As you exhale, forward fold with a long back towards your left ankle. So you're bringing your sternum, center of chest, towards the ankle. Let the head soften. If you're a lot more open in the hips, you can turn this into twisting pigeon by picking up the left elbow and plugging it to the inner arch of the left foot and twisting. That's optional, and grabbing the foot and sternum to ankle, completely fine. Feel for breathing space into the side ribs, which at the moment feel very crumpled. They feel like they don't have any opportunity for space, but you can make them get more space. Just visualize it. Put your full attention and curiosity into it. Each time you inhale, lift the low rib cage away from the hips. As you exhale, lengthen your sternum towards the ankle. Close your eyes. Take one more breath with your eyes closed. Don't think about external things. Just think about what it feels like. And then very slowly release, come out of this. Tuck your left heel towards the groin. Roll onto your hands, step back into down dog. Let's do a yawning out of the hip. Take an inhale, reach the left leg straight up to ceiling. Bend the left knee, hang that left foot towards the right buttock. Just momentarily notice your hands, put even weight through both of them. Don't lean heavily on one side. And then lift on an inhale, the inner line of your left thigh up towards the ceiling. So you open the front of the groin. Shake out the head. Re-wrap your shoulders, shoulder blades around the armpits. Feel them. Release the left leg slowly back down. Step your right foot to front of mat for head to ankle prep. Front foot straight, back foot 90 degrees. You're in warrior two. Hands on hips, inhale. Exhale, forward fold, straight down the center line. Bring your hands to hang down. Take your right hand, grab a handful of your right inner thigh, and then lock out, straighten your right arm. Forcing you to bend towards the left, place your left hand either on the floor in front of your left foot or on a block. Push, keep tractioning. Think about this, what you're doing. You're doing the work here, pushing the right thigh forwards as you lean your torso to the left. So your front right hip becomes a sort of hinge point where two different opposing forces are moving away. Right thigh forwards, right ribs to left, to back. Take a wide breath into the right side ribs. Feel the head soften, jaw relax. Come out of this slowly. Release the bend in the front right knee. Walk your hands to center of mat. Foot reset for flank stretch. Pigeon the toes. Maybe shorten your stance. Fold forwards. Right hand grabs left ankle or calf. Pull, this is really important, your right butt cheek back like it's super glued to a flat surface with the left butt cheek. Left hand either on top of right hand as you pull your breath into right side ribs, or if the left hand can get to the floor, you push against it so you again add to the stretch. Let the head hang. Put a micro bend in your right elbow and feel like you're pulling the right tip of elbow towards the mat. Focus your full attention on opening space into right side ribs so you feel like the right elbow and the right hip move away from each other. Let the head hang, cradled in the, possibly in the right bicep. What does it feel like to open up this much space into the side body? Release. Hands frame the right foot, lower the left knee. Pigeon, sternum to ankle. Come down onto your right bottom cheek and move your right shin so it's parallel to the top short edge of the mat. Left leg goes where it feels comfortable. Take both hands, grab the top of your right foot. Inhale, you've got to punch almost your chest through the arms. Lifting up, inhale. Exhale, sternum towards the ankle. Pull yourself down. Maybe your elbow comes to the floor, the right elbow, that's very supportive. Let the head soften. Every time you inhale, it's an opportunity to lengthen. Notice the front belly, the solar plexus area near the diaphragm. Take a breath in here and feel for length as you reach upwards. And then soften down. If you want to go deeper, maybe your elbow comes into hook of foot. Work with what you have and what feels good for you in your practice today. Come out of this really slowly. Hands to mat. Maybe pick up that right foot and actually bring it towards the groin. Down dog, slowly. Let's give this right leg a little yawn out. Inhale, right leg raises straight up to ceiling. Equal weight on the hands. Move the eyes of your elbows energetically towards each other. Bend the right knee, hang the foot. Take an inhale and feel like someone's lifting your right knee up to the ceiling directly. Feel the press through the inner groin. Can you get your left heel a little closer to the mat? How active are the toes on your right foot? Spread them apart. Shake out the head. Release, come out of this slowly. Last vignette. Step your left foot to front of mat. And then come up to standing. We're going to come into a straddle formation again, but I want you to watch your screen a minute. We're doing egg beater. So you'll be slightly pigeon-toed. It feels like we're doing flank stretch again. You come down. The trick here is that you'll get your strap and you will loop it around, loosely around your right ankle and have it in front of you. You can't see it. I've got a dark green strap on the mat. There it is. The other trick about this pose is don't feel bad about moving your feet a little closer together. You'll see why in a minute. You hang down, just watch the screen a minute. And then I want you to take your right hand and grab your left ankle. And then bring your left hand through the inner edge of your right arm and grab the strap. At which point, you're going to rotate yourself as if you're trying to, like an egg beater, spin yourself anti-clockwise and look through your right armpit. So I'm going to talk you through that. Okay. Loop the strap around your right ankle and have the two ends available to grab in the front of the mat. Hang down. Take your right hand and grab firmly around the right ankle or calf. Plug your right butt cheek behind you. Left arm, hand, goes through the inner edge of your right arm and reaches for the strap. You might actually be able to grab with your left hand the right ankle. Whether you've got the strap or the ankle, start to twist your torso towards the left and feel like you're popping your head into the underside of your right armpit. So lots of things combining here. Side body stretches with twists. And breath. Breathe. Pull on the strap, the one that's wrapped around your right ankle, or if you've got the ankle, pull on it and feel like you're rotating yourself underside of right armpit. Shake out the head. Can you take a breath into the side ribs, particularly the right side ribs? Expand. Come out of this really slowly. Move the strap to one side. Twisting triangle. Turn to face your left foot and point the toes forwards. Bring your right foot into a sort of 45-degree angle behind you. and get a block that you place on the inner edge of your left foot. Put your right hand on it. So it feels like pyramid. Inhale, lengthen the crown of the head. As you exhale, sweep the left arm up, away, and turn your whole chest to the left. Feel for lift through the left fingertips and a draw back of your left hip. And then your IT band on the outside edge of left leg gets a little rinse out. Push your hand firmly into the right side of into the block, and feel for lifting into right armpit. How much space can you get into your side body? Inhale some more length. And then miraculously, as you exhale, the twist gets a little more available. Release, float the left hand down, lower the right knee to mat. Give the right knee some padding. Twisting lunge, maybe moving into twisting lunge interlock. Back foot, shin, flat to mat. Everything's at right angles. This is not a deep lunge position. This is a upright lunge. Take an inhale, reach the right arm up to ceiling, make a fist. Make your right elbow float and land on top of your left knee thigh. Pause a moment, take an inhale. Lengthen the right side ribs. As you exhale, roll yourself to the left. Float your left hand up, clasp it on top of right fist. Push the two together. So it looks like this from front on. You're pressing top left hand into bottom right hand. Let the head go. For a moment, focus your full attention on extending length into your right side ribs. Feel it. Rather than curl in, inhale, lengthen, and then revolve. If you'd like to go deeper, here are your options. Your right hand can grab a handful of legging near the top of the left thigh. And you come into a half bind with the left arm. Still, here we go, rolling the chest open. That's what it's about, puffing your collarbones to the side of the room. If your interlock is available, you're putting the right hand under the thigh, clasping the hands behind you. Wherever you're working, whatever level, it's all about the breath. Find it. Come out of this gently. Hands to mat, frame the left foot, step back into down dog. Take a big breath. Step your right foot to front of mat for egg beater. Turn your feet to the long end of the mat, pigeon your toes, shorten your stance. Grab your strap and loosely lay it around your left ankle with the two ends available to grab. Hang down the center line of your legs. Take your left hand and grab your right ankle firmly, or right calf. Plug your left butt cheek onto a flat surface behind you. The right hand goes to inner edge of the left bicep. You reach it towards the left ankle and either grab the strap or you grab the ankle. Take an inhale, lengthen the left side ribs. As you exhale, rotate clockwise to the right and try to peek your head out through the underside of your left armpit. Breathe, breathe and feel for, this couldn't be more contortionist. Stretching yourself in all different directions, inner thigh, outer thigh, butt, ribs, arms. Roll it out, take another deep breath, lengthen the left side ribs. Exhale, get your head into that armpit. And then release, come out of it very slowly. Walk your hands to frame the front right foot. Move the right foot so it's pointing straight, left foot slightly angled. Twisting triangle, bring your left hand onto a block on the inner edge of your right foot. Square your hips off. Inhale, length through crown of head. As you exhale, right arm floats to ceiling, rotating through the upper right chest. To make the stretch work, draw your left hip forwards, right hip back, and push actively through both feet. Take an inhale, you need more length, side ribs, open them up. As you exhale, move the right hand further behind the line of body. Oh, I got so much space there. Remember, twists only work if you have long, lengthy space. IT band on the outside edge of your right thigh. I know, there it is. Breathe into it. Actively push your right foot into mat, outside edge of left foot. Release the right hand down. Left knee to mat, pad it out. Upright lunge position. Take an inhale, reach the left arm straight up, make a fist. Length, then twist, lower left elbow onto right knee. Let the head go. Take an inhale, reach the right arm up, cup on top of left fist, push the two together. So you might be staying here, pressing down with the top hand, noticing collapse in the solar plexus, lifting space, rolling open without using the neck. A little deeper, grab with the left hand a handful of legging on your right butt hip side and take a half bind with the right arm. Use this bind to roll yourself open, not turn in on yourself. Both feet really firmly pressing into mat. If you wobble, move the right foot wider. If you want to go deeper, maybe that left arm slides under the thigh and you take a full interlock. Let the head go. Feel for pressing actively through the top of the left shin and left foot. Where's your breath? Has it escaped you now you're crushed into a full twist? Feel for it extending into side ribs, even when it gets a little kind of edgy. Come out of this slowly. Step back into down dog. Take a full breath in down dog, lift the hips. And then very slowly lower knees to mat. Okay, a couple of options for the final pose before we wind down. Side crow, we're really warmed up for it. It's all about the twist and length in the side body. If you don't want to do side crow, you can do Malasana, Yogi squat again. You could also do twisting chair, where you come into chair and you twist to one side, pushing prayer hands together. That works, right? That's a really nice option. Do 5 breaths on each side and then turn to the other side. Otherwise, side crow, right? You come into a little squat where you're sitting with your bottom pretty much on your heels. Pick your hands up like you're playing patty cake and do a full twist to the side. So I'm turning to my right, I'm not mirroring you. And then you place your hands down, spread apart, shoulder distance apart on the mat. So this is where it already gets quite tight for people because it's a rib extension, right? You have to almost pick up some length in the side ribs and kind of reach into the armpit here. What you'll be doing, and if I showed you from side on, it looks like this. You have your hands down in front of you, so you're twisting, and then you're going to plug one elbow into the back of the front knee, and one elbow, well, actually, you'll lift up, your hip will land on the elbow. So it's almost like you lift your bottom and you deposit yourself on some chaturanga shelves. At which point you will actively squeeze your toes together and lift them up off the floor. If you want to go further and do twisting scissors, extend and reach the feet apart, scissoring top leg back, front leg forwards. That is an option. You don't have to do that. And you could be working towards this simply by twisting, hands down, and then lifting your bottom up and trying to just get the shelf being laid on, right? It's actually quite easy to pick the feet up. It feels really scary, but if you overshoot it, it's not going to hurt. You'll just tap your head gently on the mat. Have a go. What's going on? Otherwise, you're doing twisting chair. Nice option. You don't want to do any of that. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. All things go to shit when we try and do balances or arm stuff. We just, we lose everything. We forget to breathe. We forget to use our core. Activate your feet. That is beautiful, Claire. Spread the feet, toes apart. Lovely. Feel the energy moving in the inner line of legs. Harriet, go for it. You just need to lean forwards more. Don't be scared. It won't hurt, I promise. Just keep rocking your weight forwards. Overshoot it, overshoot it, overshoot it. And then lift your feet up. It will come. Beautiful, Dan. Very nice. And weirdly, please try the other side, because one side is a lot easier than the other. And it'll partly be because you'll be more open on one side for the twist, and also to do with your arms, right? And your wrist strength. There's one side which is much easier for me. Gainer, if you're doing twisting chair, have your feet closer together, a lot closer together. Yeah, a lot closer. Almost touching, actually. Well, maybe 4 inches apart. And your knees are together. Does that make sense? So from front on, it looks like this. So you're really squeezing your inner thigh muscles together as well. And make sure your knees don't shear apart. Try to have them relatively level. Beautiful. Okay. Well done, Dan. Excellent. Very good, Tim. Don't. It's so funny when you watch people on screen. People are going like this, going, ooh, ooh. You got to kind of really breathe into it. Come into this and take a breath. Go. And then just kind of float away. Easier said than done, I know. Okay, guys, that's worn you out. Come and lie down on your backs and bring your strap with you. Let's just do a final little leg stretch before Shavasana. Lie down on your backs with the strap. Take both legs long on the mat away from you. Draw your left knee to chest and loop the strap around the ball of your left foot. Take your left leg straight up to ceiling. So you've got hands on either strap. Maybe join them together. You're holding the strap with both hands. Feel length through the right heel pressing away and draw your left extended leg towards your chest for a hamstring stretch. Pretty simple, just a hamstring stretch. Guess what I want you to feel for? I want you to feel for lengthening the side ribs as you take your inhales. And as you exhale, I want you to feel like you reach both feet far away from each other. Take both straps in the right hand and release your left hand down to the side of the body. Inhale. As you exhale, roll, draw your left leg across the body towards the right side of the room and roll onto the outside edge of your right hip for an IT band stretch. So your left leg is coming directly out at a right angle from the hip, and you're probably still supporting the left foot in the strap. Your left arm is a sort of ballast to keep you connected to the mat, and there's a twist. Feel the breath move into the front of the left chest. Very slowly, maybe bending the left knee, draw the leg back to center. Take your left hand, grab both ends of the strap. This time your right hand will come onto your right hip and push down on it. As you take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, lower your left leg out to the side of the room. I'm too close to the wall, don't move. So with a straight leg, you open out to the side and you get a beautiful inner thigh stretch. Still too close to the wall. You're probably still pulling on the strap, supporting the leg a little bit, but keep pushing the right hip down. Feel for lengthening the breath rather than shortening it. Again, bend the left knee slightly and draw it back to center. Release the strap. Take the left leg straight down the mat. Draw the right knee to chest. Strap hooks around the top of the right foot. Lift and lengthen it, pulling on both ends of the strap. Draw the thigh towards your chest. Feel for a back of leg, hamstring stretch as you press through that ball of foot. Soften the shoulders, soften the neck. Spaciously breathe into your side body. Right hand grabs both bits of strap, left hand to side of body. Draw the right leg across you and roll onto left hip. IT band stretch. So that opening down the outside edge of right thigh, press into that with your breath. Keep lengthening the left leg as well. If you do a lot of running or cycling, this might be particularly tight, so it's a great stretch. Slightly bend the right knee, draw the leg back to center. Grab the strap with your right hand, put left hand on top of left hip, push it down. Open your right leg to the side of the body at a right angle for inner thigh stretch. Press your whole pelvic bowl towards the floor. Feel for space. It's always interesting at the end of class how much more space there is. Inhale, draw the leg back up, remove the strap, come into Shavasana. Legs up the wall, lots of props, additional layers of clothing. You know the drill. I've run over slightly, I apologize. Hopefully it's Sunday and you've got time to be in Shavasana. Make yourself extremely comfortable. Come back to the intent or the thought you had at the beginning of class, even though that might seem like that was a long time ago. And just check in with how graciously you gave yourself during this class exactly what you needed. How you honored yourself by sticking to that intent. And if you didn't, that's okay, but maybe you shifted, maybe you decided to focus on that, breathing into side body, feeling for space. Lie down, get comfortable, soften the breath, and come into Shavasana. Start to slowly deepen your breath. Bring some conscious movement into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Take your arms up above you, reach away from yourself and feel how long and lengthy you can get the breath into side body. And as you exhale, draw your knees to your chest, hug them in. Extend your left arm up above you and gently roll onto your left side and pause. Keep your eyes shut. If you had an eye pillow on, just let it slide off. Just stay here. Just read you this poem by Dana Falls called This Breath. The senses are such extroverts, always seeking, always vigilant. Invite them to rest in your center and focus inside for a while. Gather your wandering thoughts the way a shepherd might search for lost sheep and bring them home. Breathe in peace and breathe out peace, the flow of breath connecting to your spirit. Whether you feel distracted or serene, the peace that passes understanding is right here in the midst of your experience. Rest for a time, your only task to witness what it is to be alive. This breath, this streaming energy, this precious present moment opening wide. Very gently press yourself up to seated. Bring your hands to prayer. Find your breath, breathe it. That which is sacred in me honors and salutes that which is sacred in you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone, for Sunday service, Sunday yoga service. I have recorded today's session, so if anyone would like the recording,